This is Skip Carney with Carney Company, as you can see on the screen here. They're a marketing innovation agency, and we're going to get a little bit more into that. Skip, what is your title here?
I'm the President and CSO.
CSO.
Chief Sunshine Officer.
Okay, all right. I was like, I've never heard that position before. All right.
I made it up.
Is that on your card right here?
It is.
Nice. All right, so what did you do before Carney Company? Before we get into Carney Company, what did you do before?
Well, I was in radio. I studied radio, TV, and motion pictures at Carolina.
Okay.
And then when I graduated, well, all through college and after college, I was in radio. And in 1980, I started this business.
Okay. What did you do with the radio?
I was a program director, a morning guy. I was assistant manager, ad sales. I did all four of those jobs at one station, yes.
Holy cow.
But
did you do them all at once, or was it like you kept transitioning?
I actually did them all at once, but that's the way you do it at small town stations.
That makes sense.
I was in Charlotte, I was a music director and a midday guy. I came to Rocky Mount, I was the program director afternoon, and then I was transitioned to mornings, and then assistant manager in sales.
What radio station was that?
WRMT.
Okay, nice.
AM station.
What was your radio show about? Or what did you do?
About 4 hours.
4-hour radio show?
Sure.
Wow. I guess that's pretty normal.
That's pretty normal. Just play records.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like any like talking points and major? And
I
then
had
some people have like those wacky bits and.
I had some bits I did, but like trivia and some other funky stuff, but nothing special.
That's pretty cool. So how long did you do? When did you start doing that? How long did you do that for?
I was in radio from basically 71 through, that was high school.
So,
through 79, early 80.
Okay. And that's when you started, you said you started this in 1980?
January 1st, 1980.
Nice. Wow. So you guys have been around for 39 years?
Very good.
I'm very bad at math, apparently.
40 years.
40 years coming up in January. You gonna do something big for your 40th anniversary?
I don't know.
We'll see. All right, so what made you want to start your own marketing firm from all of that? Or agency, sorry.
Well, to start with, I realized that I don't like moving.
Okay.
And in radio, to move up, you have to move.
That makes sense.
So I got to Rocky Mountain, and I liked it. I liked the people. I said, I'm going to start a business. I started as a recording studio.
Okay.
I was doing voice work for other agencies in Rocky Mount, Greenville, Wilson, and wherever. And so I bought a bunch of recording equipment, started a studio. But I also went to some of my radio clients and told them I would help them with their advertising. So I really liked that, so I started learning the agency business, and I'm still learning it. So
that's pretty cool. So you made you said you did a little bit of advertising when you were working for the radio before, right?
Well, I did radio advertising.
Radio advertising, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. But then you've branched out drastically from just radio advertising to all different kinds of stuff.
So we started doing newspaper and printing and you name it, TV.
Okay. And you've just been learning that on the fly as you go on?
Well, no, I was learning, some of the stuff I had to learn, like graphic design and printing. We had to learn as we went. But I also mostly had to learn the agency business.
Okay.
So I bought a book. I've got more books on the subject and more seminars than you can shake a stick at.
That's pretty cool. So it proves, I guess, that anybody can start any sort of business as long as they're willing to learn.
That's right.
So, sweet. That's not what I imagined the story to be, but that's pretty awesome. That's how it worked out. All right. So I was reading on your website earlier, looking through a lot of what your major process is, and the word revision seemed to be your major thought, at least at the start of everything you do.
It is.
So can you explain the revision process that you kind of go through a little bit? I read it online, but for people who don't watch this, I'll pull with them.
It's a problem solving process because everybody that comes to us has some kind of problem. So we help them define their problems, help them find new problems, better problems to solve.
Okay.
We get their team aligned. If you get any number of people together from any organization, Doesn't matter if it's a business or a church,
Right.
hospital. Get the top 5 people together who are all working together to move that business wherever it's going to go. Ask them what the number one problem is. You'll get 5 different problems.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, you can't all work on all 5 problems all at once, so
Right.
you got to figure out what's most important.
Right.
So this process helps us get some alignment there, get more strategic about the problems because we uncover new, bigger problems, and then that allows the team to focus more on what's most important and get more creative about the solutions because you're not solving the same old problems that you always used to solve because
Right.
you always solve those the same way.
Right.
So we're working on new problems and better solutions.
That's pretty neat. What does, so like when you're assembling like those 5 people and you go into business, what does that process usually look like? Do you go to does the CFO or CEO come to you and they're like, well, we're stuck and I need help, and they choose the 5, or do you kind of walk through and choose out the 5, or?
No, they choose the 5. That it's usually the owner of the company, president. Sometimes the marketing person will come to us with what they perceive as their problem to be.
Right.
And usually it's more tactical, like we need a new website or we need a new brand or whatever. And so we take them through the process and we figure out that, the website, maybe it needs to be fixed, but that's not the problem.
Right.
There's other problems. So we tell them any 5 people, 4 to 6 really is the ideal number, or numbers. But it needs to be the people that care about moving this organization forward. And it doesn't matter where they come from. They can be in finance, in marketing, they can be in operations. We've had engineers, IT people.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They just have to know about the business and care about moving it forward.
Yeah. That makes a world of difference for people who actually care about a company as opposed to just some employee who's there to get a paycheck.
That's right.
So in that process, what's your first, so after you've kind of settled in what the main solution is, or I guess if you have 5 people tossing in 5 different solutions, how do you go about really picking out what that main thing is, or I guess it varies every time?
Well, the process doesn't vary.
Okay.
We take them through the process to figure out what the problems are, and so that process is it's simple, but it's complicated to explain.
Yeah.
So, but we always go through the same process. The results are always different. It's like making sausage.
Making sausage.
Yeah,
That's true. I just never thought of that analogy.
So we take them through the process, and the process is very objective.
Okay.
It's hard for somebody to steer it their direction because I always start off with these things thinking I know where it's going to go, and I am always wrong. It never goes the way I think it's going to go because we have to let the process take us where it needs to take us. And so that's what's really cool about it. Yeah. Because prior to doing this, I would develop a solution. It would always be a good solution. Now I realize we could be doing better, finding better problems and getting better solutions. Yeah. And we also work on it's a combination of the customer, our customer's problem. Then we go to what are your customer's problems?
Right. Yeah.
What is it that they need that you have, and let's present that to them in a way that's different. It's more unique. It's more innovative.
It's not so much looking inward and also looking outward and kind of bringing those together.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. I feel like that's probably a big thing with people I know who has companies. They get so stuck on like, what do I need to do better? It's like, but what do they need you to do better too? Yeah. What was it? So you said, oh man, I just got off my track. When you're looking at what a customer needs, and you guys help kind of define that need to your client, how does the client usually handle that process? Like, do they get a little defensive and stuff? Because I can see, you said it's pretty objective, but I feel like I know whenever I confront people on something that they don't think is what's wrong, then they'll get a little bit more like, hey man, like how about you back off a little bit, or they think they know the right answer. How does that?
Well, the way it happens, they provide the answers. Okay. So they may have started off thinking that this is the problem, but it's clear by the time we've worked through it, and to them, it's clear that this is the problem. And we don't tell them what the problem is.
Right.
They tell us what the problem is.
Yeah.
We're just working through the process. So it's rare for somebody to get defensive because it's all pretty clear that what we're working toward is for the common good of the company or the organization. And so most people are pretty open to it. And we start off with some ground rules to help everybody to feel more comfortable with whatever the answer is. It doesn't matter what the answer is in terms of did somebody do something right or wrong.
Right.
It matters about what we're going to do next.
Yeah.
We look at it as people come to us because they don't like where they are.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like where they're going. Because they know if they keep doing what they're doing, they're just going to keep getting what they always got, and so that's not what they want. So our job is to help change the future, to give them a new trajectory, a new strategic plan, and a better way to get there.
Right. Now, also on your website, as I read past the revision thing, it kind of hit on, you put in all caps, why. Like trying to figure out what their purpose is. And I assume with this group of 5 or however many you choose, do you help kind of refocus in them on the why, like what they're doing with the company and why they're doing it, and trying to